Hello everyone, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we'll do a comparison of two budget smartphones, the Coolpad Dazen 1 with the Yuphoria. So these two smartphones are now competing in the budget 4G LTE enabled smartphone category, and they have a lot of similarities in terms of the specs and features being offered. So let's go into the detailed comparison of these two smartphones with respect to the design, build quality, the software, the performance side, the battery, and also the camera. So before we go into the detailed aspects, let's first have a look at the specs of these two devices. So first up, let's see the Coolpad Dazen 1. So this device was announced by Coolpad a couple of weeks back. This comes with a 5-inch HD display. So this device is powered by the Snapdragon 410 quad-core chipset with 2GB RAM and 8GB internal storage. It comes with Android 4.4 KitKat with a custom cool UI on top of it, and it has a 2500 mAh battery along with an 8 megapixel rear camera and a front-facing 5 megapixel camera. So that was the spec aspect of the Coolpad Dazen 1. Now moving on to the Yuphoria. So this is the second device under the U branding. So the first device, the Yuphoria, was a pretty good success for the company, and this comes with a 5-inch HD display. It's powered by the same Snapdragon 410 quad-core chipset with 2GB RAM and 16GB internal storage. It has 2500 mAh battery, and it runs the latest Android 5.0 Lollipop along with a custom CM12 UI, and this is a highly customizable OS. Now this also has an 8 megapixel rear camera and a front facing 5 megapixel camera. So there are a lot of similarities between these two devices in terms of the specs. So both have the same processor, the same amount of RAM, the displays again are similar, the battery is also similar, the camera aspect is also similar. So now let's go into the detailed aspect. Now first up, let's see the design and build quality of these two smartphones. Now in the design and build quality aspect, so design wise you can see the Coolpad Dazen 1 isn't anything really different in terms of the design. So you can see this is a typical budget smartphone, and it has looks of the Redmi 2, which was announced a couple of months back. You can see this has a matte finish rear panel. The finishing is pretty good. It's pretty heavy actually. The device isn't very lightweight, but it has a power button on the right side, the volume keys on the left side, the 3.5mm audio jack, the micro USB charging slot, and the design looks pretty similar to many other devices. There isn't anything stand out in the design. So that's the Coolpad Dazen 1. Now talking about the Yuphoria, so this has a totally different design, and it's one of the key aspects of the Yuphoria. So you can see here it has a totally different design in the budget category. So you can see the camera has a large circular dial. You can see the metallic corners and the frame, and it has a plastic rear panel, and you can see also see that the power and the volume keys are arranged in a totally different layout. And design wise, this device is totally new in this segment, although it has resemblance with the Lumia 830 and 930 in terms of the design aspect. But in the budget category, we would say this is a pretty refreshing design and does look pretty good. Now talking about the build quality, this is one area where we would say the Coolpad Dazen 1 has slight edge, because the material quality on the Yuphoria could have been slightly better. You can see this the black plastic finishing isn't of that great quality, but Coolpad Dazen 1 has pretty good quality all around. It's a matte finish and looks pretty good as well. So in design wise, the Yuphoria is better, but build quality we would say the Coolpad Dazen 1 is slightly better than the Yuphoria. Now talking about the display, both these devices have the 5-inch HD display. That's pretty standard in this category. That's a 720p display, and both these devices have almost similar aspects in terms of the display, and both are pretty good performance as well. The colors look good on both these devices. They are pretty sharp as well, and overall quality of both these devices in terms of the display are almost similar. So we don't really see one being better than the other, but both these devices have pretty good touch response as well. So in terms of the display performance, we would say both these devices perform pretty well. Now talking about the software and performance, so this is one area where these two devices have a lot of differences. The software performance, the Coolpad Dazen 1 is powered by the Android 4.4 KitKat with a custom cool UI on top of it. So this is a custom UI very similar to what we saw on Xiaomi's Redmi 2. This has a lot of resemblance with the MIUI, and this again supports themes and other options to customize the phone. You can see lock screen, you can customize the incoming call option, alarms, notification, a lot of things can be customized. So it's pretty customizable OS, and it does offer lots of features as well. So you can see this has a custom UI in the settings as well. So that's the Coolpad Dazen 1 with a cool UI. So all in all, the software is pretty good, feature rich, and does offer a basic amount of customization along with the themes app, which does offer some themes and option to customize the UI. Now talking about the Yuphoria, so this has the Android 5.0 Lollipop, while the Dazen 1 had only Android 4.4 KitKat. Now this has the CM12, that's a Cyanogen OS, so that's a highly customizable OS. While the UI looks a lot of while the UI has a lot of similarities with the stock Android, this is highly customizable OS. It does come with a lot of themes. You can see you can download a lot of themes included. You can even buy themes and customize it. And even if you go to the settings, also you can see a lot of option to customize the even the buttons can be configured. The lights, the notification lights, there are just to support double tap to wake. A lot of options are included. So in terms of the customization options, we would say the Yuphoria is better in terms of the overall features being offered, but the Coolpad UI, which is called the Cool UI, isn't far behind. It does offer some good amount of customization, but it's not as feature rich as the Yuphoria, which runs the Cyanogen OS. Now in terms of the performance, both run the Snapdragon 410 quad-core chipset with 2GB RAM, and the performance is pretty good on both these devices. We tested the gaming performance as well. Both these devices have pretty good gaming performance, and also it was pretty good in this category. So both these devices can be used for gaming in this budget category. You can't expect a high-end gaming experience, but still in this category it's pretty good gaming experience. Now regarding the internal storage, the Coolpad Dazen 1 comes with only 8GB internal storage, while the Yuphoria has 16GB internal storage. Both are expandable via microSD card, but still you get additional 8GB internal storage on the Yuphoria. Now both these devices support 4G LTE in India. They have dual 4G LTE support in India. So they have dual 4G LTE in India and supports dual SIM cards as well. So that was the performance side. Now both these devices have really great performance side. Now we don't really say one is better than the other. The performance is pretty good on both these devices with the Snapdragon 410 quad-core chipset and 2GB RAM. Now moving on to the camera experience. This is one of the important aspects of any smartphone, and both these devices have 8MP rear camera and a front 5MP camera for selfies and video calls. Now the camera, you can see that both these devices offer pretty good amount of features in the camera. There are filters and options. There is HDR and basic amount of features being offered. So overall in feature wise, we would say both these devices have pretty good amount of features. Now talking about the camera performance, we would say the Yuphoria is a clear winner here. The Coolpad Dazen 1 has issues with focusing close-up shots, and also the colors doesn't look that great, but the Yuphoria is better in terms of the overall camera performance. But mind you, both these devices do not come up to the performance of the Redmi 2 in terms of the camera. So both these devices here we would say the Yuphoria is better in terms of the overall performance, even the video recording as well as the overall photo clarity. And even the front facing camera, both these devices are pretty good and produce pretty decent shots. We would say in terms of the overall performance, the Yuphoria is better in the camera aspect. Now finally, the battery performance. Here again, both these devices are very similar, 2500 mAh battery on both these devices, and we would say the Coolpad Dazen 1 has slight edge over the Yuphoria in terms of the overall battery experience. But having said that, the Yuphoria is also pretty decent, and you can get 1 day of usage with both these devices. So that was a detailed comparison of these two devices. Now the pricing. The Coolpad Dazen 1 was initially priced 6,999, and now it has been reduced to 5,999, while the Yuphoria is priced 6,999. So there is now a clear difference of 1K between these two devices. So with the additional 1K, what is the benefit of getting Yuphoria? It has an highly customizable OS, it has better camera, and also there is higher capacity internal storage. So that was three aspects you get with additional 1K difference. So but if you're not really worried about the camera performance, we would say the Coolpad Dazen 1 does make great value for money at 5,999. It has 4G LTE, it has 2GB RAM, Snapdragon 410 quad-core chipset, a pretty decent UI, and also pretty good display performance. So all in all, it's based upon your preference. If you want a highly customizable latest Android OS, the better choice would be the Yu Yuphoria. But if you're really tight on your budget, then the Coolpad Dazen 1 does make great difference with the 5,999 pricing. So that was a detailed comparison of the Coolpad Dazen 1 with the Yu Yuphoria. Hope you liked this video. If you have any queries, drop in a comment and we'll be glad to help you out with your queries. If you like this video, do hit the like button and also subscribe to your YouTube channel for more videos. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day.